Hello my friends, and greetings from city of Banja Luka, the capital of Republika Srpska, which is part of country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, but which is not part of Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and it also is not part of Serbia. Are you confused now? I was. Let me explain you, but let me first get out of the bus. Hvala. So friends, we are here in Banja Luka. That's the bus station from outside. And you see these guys? Japanese knotweed. They have this plague as well here. I wonder if they know what it is. It's maybe you sleep better if you don't know it. Terribly difficult to get rid of. And terribly capable of going through concrete walls. But at the same time, not poisonous. You can eat them like rhubarbs even. Okay, that was a complete off topic. You see, this business obviously wants to keep their premises clean of the knotweed, and they have mowed the thing. You don't do these things. It grows even worse. I bet I come after 2 years and it will be there everywhere, through the tarmac going like this, and through the walls in some places as well. You need terribly evil and bad glyphosate, and even then you need multiple applications to completely kill it. Scythe is not enough, unfortunately. You see, even Policia has different paint color scheme on the car here. They really want to be a separate country, are they? Do they? Tržnica. Aha, that's the market. Can I get through here, or will I have to go back? I have a bad feeling there is a gate. Or will this gate be open? Yes, it is open. Good. I won't have to go back all the way. Now then, we are on the big street which I needed, and we go this direction for maybe 10-15 minutes and we'll be at my hostel. So I don't have to think about where to go, and I can talk to you now, and we can come back to the theme, to the topic. What was the story with Republika Srpska, Serbia, country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina? What is all that mix about? I'll tell you what I understood, and you tell me please if I'm wrong. If anybody of you guys know, please feel free to correct me in comments, and also to let know everybody else as well, so they are not fooled by me. But the thing is that the area, the land of today's country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, it has very complicated history. The pieces of the land has changed hands many times in different conditions. There was time when there was Austro-Hungary, Austria-Hungaria, no, how do you say it in English? I don't know even. That big beast, which no longer exists since the First World War. And that was here. Then there was the big era of, is it communism I should say, or socialism, or just authoritarianism, how do you call it? I'm not sure. the Yugoslavian times when Tito was ruling the place, when it was whole big united Yugoslavia and Bosnia and Herzegovina was part of it. And during all those times the peoples mixed together, like Croats, how do you call it in English, lived here, Bosnians, or sometimes they call them just Muslims because they are predominantly Muslim. They lived here, and also Serbs lived here, and often they lived very intertwined, like many places it wasn't clear border between them because everybody was everywhere. And then came the time when Yugoslavia fell apart, the same, well, roughly, very roughly the same time when all the communistic places fell apart. I mean the Soviet Union and all the Warsaw Pact countries like Czechoslovakia became Czechia and Slovakia and so on. All of that era when more freedom came, and when idea of communism and socialism finally was proven itself to be complete scam. How can I say it in more polite words? I don't know. And people no longer believed any of that stupidity. Well, I'm saying now, I hope I don't offend anybody. I don't want to offend you people, but I do have really strong feelings about socialism and communism, and not the best ones. From my own experience of growing up in Soviet Union, and also from all the logic of socialistic and communistic ideas. Basically, socialism would be a good idea if you had unlimited resources to expropriate from somebody who earns them. Then it would be a good idea. But when socialists have to earn and build themselves, it doesn't work anymore. So, okay, I'm going to complete off topic now. Let's go back. So, when Yugoslavia fell into pieces, collapsed, unfortunately it didn't happen easily and smoothly. It happened with wars. In some places less, like Slovenia, almost nothing, and in some places really terrible, like in Bosnia and Herzegovina, which was, I think it was the worst of all Yugoslavian places, worstly affected by war in the 90s. And yeah, there were, I don't know even how to tell about these things not to offend somebody, because of course there were agendas and propagandas on each of the sides. And yeah, the methods of dealing with things were not always very humane, softly speaking. Like the proper genocide stuff and that kind of things. So that whole thing ended in the result that a lot of people were displaced, and they were kind of grouped together, Serbian speaking people closer to other Serbian speaking people, and Croatian people closer to another Croats, and so on, as far as I understand. And then it was possible kind of to have some kind of borders, not really borders, but some kind of territorial division to establish, or something of that sort. And it's all terribly complicated and difficult and painful, and there are extremely conflicting and diametrically, how do you say it in English, opposite interests, conflicting interests between the involved sides. So it's difficult. But yeah, the result of the whole thing is to get the peace. Was it called Daytona Accord? The peace agreement which ended the Bosnian War. I'm not sure if I remember it correctly. So it was, the peace was made, but in quite complicated situation. Basically, the UN recognized and world recognized country is called Bosnia and Herzegovina, with capital in Sarajevo. And if you look on the maps, most likely you will see the borders of that country. But that country is not very simple. It consists of two big entities. One entity is Republika Srpska, or Srpska, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, whose capital is this, Banja Luka, where I am now. And it is not part of Serbia, it's nothing to do with Serbia. Well, it has a lot to do with Serbia and also a lot to do with Russia, but let's not get too political now. It's not part of Republic of Serbia, which we know on the map as a separate country. Yeah? So it is one piece, like the northern side and the eastern side of Bosnia and Herzegovina is Republika Srpska, and it is a separate kind of half autonomous, or I don't know how to call, unit, part of this country. And the second part is what they call a federation, which is very confusing to me, at least. Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Like, to me, when I hear federation should be the biggest entity, and then it could be smaller pieces which federate together. But here it's kind of other way around. Federation is one half or one piece of the Bosnia and Herzegovina country, and that federation is one of the two pieces which make up the country of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So federation consists of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and federation together with Republika Srpska make up the whole country of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So federation is the smaller piece and country is the bigger piece, yeah? And Republika Srpska, first when I was reading about it, I thought it's just Serbian name for Republic of Serbia, of that country with Belgrade as capital. But no, it's a different thing. It's a Serbian speaking part of Bosnia and Herzegovina. That is the thing which is called Republika Srpska, with capital of Banja Luka, where I am now. I don't think I make it much easier to understand, did I? But I hope you could understand at least something. So, today, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, I hope to explore a little bit this place and to get some more understanding what's going on here. What's the story? And also I might, once I know a little bit better the situation, I might maybe be able to explain it a little bit better to you as well, because it's not so easy, since it depends very much on which side of the propaganda are you reading. Like, wherever are wars, there is propaganda. Wherever war starts, the truth and objectivity ends, and there are only two or even more sides with their respective propagandas. No truth, no objectivity, out of the window completely. Like, what kind of objectivity and truth would you expect in any news about the war in Ukraine now? It just depends which side of the propaganda you are listening to. But there is no truth, it's only propaganda, one or another. And I was looking on maps yesterday to see what's interesting in Banja Luka, and I saw there's Museum of History of Republika Srpska. And I was looking the comments, the reviews, is it worth looking at or not? And what were the reviews? Many people were writing, it's an amazing museum, a must-see, such valuable historical information, blah blah blah. And another people were writing, it's not a museum at all, it's just a propaganda tool. It's an informational war against the other side. It's not a museum. So, whom to believe now? How to speak about these things without offending one or another? Not so easy. If I figure out some things, I might find some ways how to tell you guys about this, what's going on here, without offending anybody. Although, if you have read any commentaries which I have about Cyprus and northern Cyprus, you see how difficult it is. I might try to be as neutral as possible, but there will always be people who get offended by even lifting up and talking about the issues. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what interesting we find in this city. But since I was talking so long, I'm a little bit afraid that I might be already walked past my hostel. Let me check my map and see. Oh no, friends, I'm only halfway to my hostel. It's not so close. But don't worry, I will not bother you with more talk like this. And I'll show you only when I see something interesting here. Deal? No, this is the place, hostel room. That's where I have the booking. I was asking them if they can send me a picture of the door or where should I go. And they couldn't reply to me anything more, but they wrote in their language, which I think should be Serbian, not Bosnian, that there is a fruit and veg shop and I should go and ask the seller. He will know. Let's try now. Zdravo. I have reservation hostel room.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Mm-hmm. So, this is my new home for the 3 days, 2 nights. Welcome, my friends. I'll show you where I live now. This is how it looks from inside. Everything clean, nice. And the shopkeeper actually spoke quite nice English. I was pleasantly surprised. It was very easy to communicate and understand everything, so recommended. And this is my room, and it looks like nobody else is here again. Kind of sad for them, but happy days for me. What do you think? Nice. And that's outside. Good. And is there a balcony? It looks like there is. Let me see. Yes. Nice. What do you think? Not bad. And this cost me €10 per night. So it is exactly my budget limitation. Previous places were cheaper than my budget. Next places in Iceland, of course, will be more than twice more than my average, which will balance out all the other savings. And at the end, should be all good regards my budget. Good morning, my friends from Banja Luka, and look at this amount of the military personnel. I guess this must be some military base or camp or something, but I'm seeing all the time people in uniforms. Yeah, that's a sad view. I told you already how I feel about this in my video about Tuzla. When I see military people in a place which is at heightened risk of the war breaking out. Poor guys. Hopefully it never happens. Now then, let's go and do some exploration. What do you think, friends? Vojna policija, military police, obviously. I didn't even know they have a separate flag. Like, they're not officially recognized country, they're part of Bosnia and Herzegovina. But yes, they have their own flag and they're flying it with pride as far as I see. These are the government buildings of Republika Srpska, which I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be filming. So let's do it quite quick and move ahead. And this one seems to be Cathedral of Saint Bonaventura. I'll tell you what, my friends. Bosnia and Herzegovina seems to be champions of weirdest churches I have seen. What do you say about this? Judging by the language, you see, Diocese Banja Lucensis. Banja Luka Biskupija. Now, Biskupija is quite clear as well. So, diocese, how do you say it in English? Is it diocese? The bishop's district, basically. Biskupija. But yeah, I was about to say, judging by the language, since it's Latin first and local second, this must be a Catholic church. Yes, Katoliczki. Correct. Which I was a bit surprised of, because the Catholic part is the Croatian part of Bosnia and Herzegovina. This Republika Srpska part is predominantly Orthodox, but obviously not without Catholics either. Sorry, I can't zoom out my phone anymore because I'm filming with my emergency phone. I run out of memory again. Can you believe it? What do you think, friends? Will it be open? This is something properly weird. Remember the church in Tuzla which I showed you? This is even weirder. But at least there is some beauty element in it, unlike that one in Tuzla. Let's see if it's open. No, not open at all. Even a Catholic church can be not open. Dar Pape Ivana Pavla II. That must mean that it was gift of the Pope John Paul II. Okay. Pushkin. What are you doing in Republika Srpska? Was ever Pushkin here? Well, he did like to travel a little bit, sometimes somewhere. But really? Up to here? Or they're just like his writings and that's it? And this one is the Orthodox Cathedral. Cathedral of Christ the Savior. The same name as the Cathedral of Orthodox Church in Moscow. of the Moscow Patriarchy. But this one seems to be a bit older than the one in Moscow. What do you reckon, friends? And this one seems to be open as well. And open in two places even. You know what I'm thinking, friends? You guessed it. Is it some place with some moshi? What would it be in English? Relics. Archangel Michael. This is About page of my YouTube channel, and if you scroll down you will find the link to my Patreon, where I post more personal videos which are not meant for the general public in YouTube. And this one is Park Bana Milosavljevića. No, not Milosevića. Don't be afraid, my friends. But who he was, I still have no clue. But I do see there is drinking water. First things first, my friends. That was very good. Now let's get back to exploring. Yeah, that's exactly the same what my Google Maps said. They like these topiary things as well. Ivan Franjo Jukic Banja Lučanin. I like how it sounds, Banja Lučanin. Person from Banja Luka. Banja Lukian, how to say it in English. Biblioteca. That doesn't need any translation, does it? And somewhere here must be Spomenik. I see it. Spomenik Stefan Nemanja. Spomenik must be monument, sculpture, that kind of thing. Vspomnit in Russian means to remember. Yeah, Stefan Nemanja. So Vspomnit means to remember, and spomenik would be something which makes you to remember something. So monument, obviously. Who was this dude? Some old Tsar? Maybe he formed Serbia, or who knows what in this part of Balkans? I'm not your best person in explaining these things, unfortunately. If I would be going like most tourists, that you prepare and make money for 1 year and then you make one trip for 1 week, then it's different. You can research everything about that place where you're going. I'm just living, and I happen to be in different places while I live, so not often I have time to research properly these things. Locomobila, that's cool. Yes, and locomobile. And some killing machine of the old ages. And some little bit newer killing machines. And something which looks like gas chamber killing machines but are not, I'm sure. Oh, and this is cool. Look how narrow the gouge is for the rails. Amazing. And such an iron beast can stand on such narrow gouge rails. Let me walk into grass to show you that. Cool. Tržnica, shopping place, market, how do you translate it? And the one on the right is something which my Google Maps call Castel Fortress. I guess that might be the oldest part of this town, and behind that must be a river. And there's some mosque in the distance as well. Although this is not predominantly Muslim area. By the way, I was yesterday talking to one person about the peoples who live in today's Bosnia and Herzegovina, and how are they different and what are their relationship. And she was telling that the language actually is almost exactly the same. The Serbian, the Bosnian and the Croatian. You couldn't tell, like you could tell with any language that city has certain dialect or tang or whatever, how do you call it? But it's almost impossible to tell by the language the difference. And then I was asking, but how do you know then? Who is who? How do you know whom to hate? And she was saying, we know. Sometimes it is slight differences in the face. Sometimes it is slight differences in the clothes. Sometimes it is even smell. Imagine that. Because Muslims use some specific oil or something while cooking, and then they smell a certain way, which people with good smell can tell that you're a Muslim. You're a Bosniak, you're not a Serb or Croat, and that kind of stuff. And I was asking, how serious is that hatred thing among you? Like, is it serious, or is it just past or something? And she said, well, among youngsters, among younger people, it's not anymore. They are quite friendly and see things quite cool-headed and without much issues and dramas. But the older people who went through the war in the 90s, they might be quite tough on these things. And I must be careful not to offend them. So yeah, let's be careful, my friends. Not because I would like to pay deep respects towards any kind of wars, but I just honor the people, especially the ones who are wounded, psychologically, mentally, or even physically. I don't want to make their wounds deeper. Many of those wounds still haven't healed, I understand. I see that there is some staircase where people are climbing up. Maybe there will be more. If that's the case, I would like to do the same. Yeah, and I was also asking, how do you call each other? Like, how can you tell if you are all Bosnians and you're all speaking kind of almost the same language? How do you call each other to distinguish who is who? and I'm not exactly 100% sure that I understood it all, but because her English wasn't the best English, and my Serbian / Croatian / Bosnian was 100 times worse. But I understood that they often make this division by religions. So Serbians or Republika Srpska people, they identify themselves as Orthodox because Serbian Orthodox Church would be the thing for them. And Croatians would identify themselves as Catholics because Croatia is predominantly a Catholic country. And Bosnians, like proper Bosnians, they identify themselves as Muslims because that's what they are since Ottoman Empire times. What a nice place, friends. What do you think? With the river Vrbas, I hope I pronounce it correctly, calmly flowing. Nice. So they often distinguish between themselves as Catholics, Muslims or Orthodox because everything else is so similar among them. Tell me, friends, if anybody of you know more. Is it correct? Is it right which I'm talking? That's what I understood from her. I should talk to somebody more probably. That sign says "Не приlazi," which sounds a bit funny, like don't creep, don't crawl near. But that's when I try to translate it from Russian, which of course is not correct. That's just my way of guessing what it could mean. So basically it probably meant don't come too near. And I don't know where near. To that gate? To where I am now? If it's here, where I shouldn't be, so let's assume I didn't get it. What it said. Is there anything else we can see going further? No, nothing. Yeah, a nice place. That's probably not meant to be used. Can we get through here? That would be a bit closer to where I want to go, instead of coming all the way back. I like this language. Želite studirati, ali nemate vremena? So, želajte would be kind of similar to Russian. You want. Studirati is quite clear, to study. Ali is like Polish but. Nemate is like Ukrainian nema, you don't have. Vremena, like vremya in Russian. So you want to study but you don't have time? Come to us. I like this language. I still don't understand why is it so easy to guess all these things. I'm not any Slavic language specialist by any means. Well, I know something, but far from being specialist or expert. But it's still so easy to guess what it means. I'm quite surprised about it. Do you feel the same, my friends, or am I the only one who feel the same? I just wonder if it is the same for everybody. It might be a good bonus for some expats who would like to consider moving and living in some of these Balkan countries, Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian speaking. Might be very easy to get on with life, to get, how do you call it, to assimilate, kind of, not completely assimilate of course, but to be able to live easily and understand what's going on around you. And this one is Ferhadia Mosque. Don't ask me what means Ferhadia. If you want to know, you might ask Google, because you might have internet since you are watching me. I don't have. But what I do have, I will give you. I'll try to sneak in and get a good view of the place. What do you think, friends? Is that a nice idea or what? What do you think, friends? Will it be open? Here it is. Let's take off our shoes and see if we can go deeper. And this one is supposed to be the park of Petar Kocic. And if you want to ask me who was Petar Kocic, probably you haven't watched enough of my videos yet. As if I knew. No, friends, I have no clue. But the park is quite nice and full of young people. It's interesting. I was kind of under impression that there's a big wave of young people leaving Bosnia and not wanting to stay there, looking for jobs more west rather than here. But I wouldn't say it's a problem, at least as far as I can observe on the streets. In all of the cities and towns where I have been during these days, I don't see that phenomena, which I have seen in many other countries, where streets are full of elderly people and some struggling middle-agers and no youngsters at all. Here it doesn't seem to be very depressing at all. Nice. I'm happy for you, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Look at these amounts of people on the streets all around. It looks like nobody cares about that red light. So why should I? Boska. What is Boska? Who knows? But the streets are full of people. Knjižara. As funny as it sounds, as clear it is what it means. Bookstore, of course. What else? Hey friends, something is going on here. But what? Is it some wedding or something much bigger? Now that's the same Orthodox cathedral which we saw already. But what's going on here? Some numbers. Is it some mass wedding or what? With many numbers for each couple, their own gathering place. Like Moonists had, or still have, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not getting wiser what it is. And you hear on this end of the street is another band. There's another one there. Is this cool or what, my friends? And there's another band, silent at the moment. This is my Patreon page. Did you know that you can choose there any monthly subscription fee that you want? There are no limits. You can leave the $5 per month, or you can enter something more substantial if you want to support me more. Or you can also enter something so small that you will not even feel it in your monthly budget. But it will still make a big difference for me, especially if there will be many such patrons like you. You can use PayPal or card payments, whichever you prefer. The Patreon subscription payments will be made automatically each month, and you can change or cancel them at any time. I still don't know what it is, but it's definitely not boring. What do you think, friends? Hotel Bosna. Excuse me, do you speak English?
Yes.
Do you know what is this event about?
Prom night.
What does it mean? Prom?
When you end high school, they have
Okay.
prom night, like party.
Like party for when you end the finish the high school.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool. You know how to celebrate.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. I never expected that. So basically, it's all of the high schools in Banja Luka, or it's
No,
just
this is just one.
One?
Every day is one.
every day is one high school celebrating like this?
Yes.
Wow, you're amazing people.
Thank you.
That's cool. I never imagined something like that. And what do you do in this evening? Like, what's the normal thing you?
They go in a hotel, stay
Uh-huh.
I don't know, a few hours, and after
Yeah.
that they go to club.
Wow, wow. And lot of music and lot of fun and noise and everything.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. So all the studying is finished, so you can. Wow, that's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, this is impressive, my friends. I actually caught the right moment because it seems to be finishing, and while I was here not too long ago, it hasn't started yet, so I got in the right moment. And friends, my curiosity took over. So I just started to look for somebody who can speak English and explain me what's going on. What is it? And I found one person with a professional looking camera, so I thought that person must know, but unfortunately no English. And then I caught another girl with a camera, so I thought she must know, and she spoke English. Yeah, I don't know if you will be able to hear what she replied, but basically this was just a celebration after high school finishing. This is something. We can learn from these people how to celebrate things. I can say that to you as a Latvian. Funny. What things can you see when you go outside of your own country? You will never guess. That's crazy. Well, I'm happy I came here. What can I tell you? That's some cool Mercedes. How often do you see these things, friends? Yeah, so the celebration is finished. Sun is quite low already. Time to go home, my friends. What do you think? You see, even these Soviet-style buildings have these flag colors. Let's go fighter. What's that? Samoborats. Borats would be something like fighter as well, probably, yeah. Sasha Konchar. Let's go fighter. And by the way, yes, this is how you paint the flag of this place. Red is up and white is down. Russian flag would be exactly the same, but upside down, with the white up and the red down. 1926. Was it some day of year of foundation of what? Republika Srpska? Sounds too old for that, I don't know. Banja Luka, 1987. Lješinari, Nova Varoš. Nova Varoš was one area. Ah, by the way, was it here? Maybe it was somewhere near here, so maybe I remember seeing it on the map and I was looking, sounds like Varosha in northern Cyprus. Lješinari again. Well, yes, quite aggressive, polygistic. Do you know that term? Okay, let's not go there. And what's that? Još od 1926 Srpski champion. Srpski champion, so that's Serbian champion. Banja Luka, Borac and the football. Okay, this must be some football team, I think. Okay. Not too military. Iznad svih Nova Varoš. Yeah. Don't know what to tell you more about them, friends. I don't know myself. What I do know is that sun is setting and I have almost 1 hour to go to my hostel. So that's the direction I'll be keeping now. I am taking now a shortcut and I'm hoping that this street is not cul-de-sac, that there will be some gate to the park when it ends. What a mishap. And this place is called Sveti Marko. So Sveti, I think it's pretty sure it's the same as Russian Sviatoy, so the holy or the saint, and Marko is Marko, so Saint Mark. Saint Mark, I didn't know you were here, but I do like the gospel you wrote. I must admit that one, for sure. Yeah, it didn't work out as a shortcut exactly, but at least I didn't have to go all the way back. Now, only straight from now. Nectar pivo. Pivo is the same as in Russian, beer, and nectar. So nectar was the thing which Greek gods drank, was it? The first reaction was that I kind of don't want exactly to believe that Greek gods drank Serbian or Bosnian beer. But then on the second thought, knowing all the things which the Greek gods did, maybe there could be something alcoholic as well in what they drank. What do you think? And how do you like the Mercedes-Benz shop Jajcevic? Nice. Home sweet home. Dark home. But you have to believe me that I'm home. Good morning, my friends. This seems to be last morning, my last morning, not only in Banja Luka, but in the whole country of Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm going now to airport, and my next steps, my next plan is going to Iceland. But in order to get the cheap plane tickets and make this whole thing very economical, I am now going to Bergamo airport in Italy near Milano. From there I'll be going by train probably to Venezia, and from Venezia I have a very cheap plane ticket to Reykjavik in Iceland. So if you're interested to see what happens next, how does this journey goes, feel free to check out my next video, which I will upload after this one. But for now, friends, I can make a very quick summary what I think about Bosnia and Herzegovina. In general, all in all, I liked the country very much. I enjoyed it very much. The people are lovely here in all three parts, or all two parts, depending how you count and measure, of the Bosnia and Herzegovina. The federation, which consists of Bosnia and Herzegovina and the Republika Srpska, which is the second part of the country. Weather is nice in mid-May. People are nice. Place is beautiful. All the mountains and landscapes and everything. The only sad thing is the whole complications and former conflicts and risk of future conflicts because of the bigger politics. But unfortunately that's how it often happens in places which are fault lines, not only seismical but even more political and military, where bigger powers and their interests meet. That's the world we live in, unfortunately, at the moment at least. By the way, it was a good thing. I was happy not to see any results personally from the recent earthquake. I read in the news that 3 weeks ago there was quite a serious earthquake not far from Mostar, the previous city where I was in. And I was thinking, who knows what will be there, but I didn't see any ruins or any destruction personally. I'm sure there is some, but I didn't see it, so I was quite happy to see that it's not that bad, at least. Okay, friends, I'll say goodbye to you. It has been nice to travel together with you through this country, and see you in the next one. All the best, my friends. If you'd like to hear more from me and support me in my ways, you're more than welcome to become my patron. Find the link to my Patreon page just under the description of my YouTube channel's About page.